Hi there, I'm Stasha. I'm the period coach. I'm here today to talk about PMS and ways that we can actually prevent, reduce, eliminate, defeat PMS. One of the things that I really like to do when coaching and working with women is to introduce things into the diet that help ease PMS. And I have a great graphic with 8 of my favorite foods that you can grab just by clicking the link and entering what you need to in there. It's really helpful, especially for getting rid of those kinds of symptoms. But there are some things that you need to reduce or eliminate from your diet. And sorry, but it will help. So here's the thing. Don't freak out. I really subscribe to the idea that if you incorporate these really good foods and start reducing just one thing, don't eliminate it, just reduce it. Just, instead of caffeine being one of them, instead of 2 cups of coffee or more a day, just knock one out. Just start there. Just knock one out. Have a cup of roasted dandelion root tea instead, or grab one of the awesome mushroom roasted chaga teas. They're both really dark, really bitter. They're strong, like flavorful and mouthfeel like coffee, but without the caffeine. So maybe still have your morning coffee and get rid of that evening coffee or that afternoon coffee or that 2 p.m. or whatever it is. And instead have one of the chaga teas, right? Or roasted dandelion root tea. Just a way of helping you put something into your diet while getting rid of something gross. Another thing is sugar. I know, I'm sorry, but sugar is super involved in how our hormonal balance works, how PMS works in our body. And here's the thing. I'm going to do a whole video just on sugar. So you can check that out and see a little bit more in detail about how sugar affects the body, especially for women. But again, just get rid of one thing. So instead of saying, I'm going to just go cold turkey and get rid of sugar altogether, maybe have a substitute. So maybe instead of having the afternoon sweet treat, maybe make yourself, apples and peanut butter, or make a beet salad. Beets have that real sweet, that's what sugar is made out of, is beets oftentimes. So maybe do something like that. Instead of having a dessert at the end of the night, maybe just have a sweet tea, some kind of tea that has a little dried fruit in it. It's still sugar, I know, but it's not sugar like dessert is sugar, right? So it's not about eliminating it, it's about reducing it. And this is the first step that we need to do. Dairy is also a real big problem for women with PMS. It's not a problem for everybody. So don't think that, if you're digging on your dairy that this necessarily means you. But if you really have a thing about dairy, it might be a problem. I had a client a long time ago who loved dairy. And I mean, loved dairy. Every meal had dairy. Some meals were just dairy. And it turned out that she had really, really bad periods, which is obviously why she came to me. She had endometriosis, and that dairy was making the endo so bad that it wasn't just the uterus and the ovaries that had the endometrium lining. It was actually all the way up into the intestines and surrounding the bladder. So she got to such a state that it was so bad that when I talk about an elimination diet, I mean huge elimination diet, just because she couldn't, the bladder wasn't working properly anymore, intestines weren't working properly anymore. So, and I wasn't the only one saying it. Her doctor was right there with me. In fact, her doctor had more stringent guidelines than I did. So, yay team. So it can be, if you find yourself having a huge love affair with dairy, you may want to give it a try and see what it's like to get rid of it, because it might be a big problem for you. But either way, you can always try just eliminating it and see how you feel, and then bring it back if it's not a big deal. And gluten. Gluten is one of the other really big offenders for women. You don't have to have celiac to be gluten sensitive. I do not have celiac. Thank you. I am super appreciative of that, but I still can't have gluten. What's the difference? If I eat out, I can have something that's fried in the same oil, say. But I can't have croutons on my salad. And if I have croutons on my salad when I get it, I need to take the lettuce off that the croutons was sitting at. So there are different levels of gluten sensitivity, and you need to find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And know that with things like dairy and gluten, oftentimes healing the gut and going through the healing process, you come out the other end being able to actually tolerate it again, or for the first time maybe in your life. So don't think of it as a punishment. Think of it as just a path to healing, okay? So those are the top offenders. And again, if you want to look into some of the things that actually can help you by adding into your diet, just click the link below and grab the graphic. Those are 8 of my favorites anyway. And they can really help you balance out those hormones and help defeat PMS. All right. I love you. Good luck. And I will see you on the inside.